I didn't actually see this, but according to my friend Mick West, he says JJ Abrams UFO documentary episode 3 suggests TTSA might be part of a government disinformation program.
You can't have a disinformation program in the government. It's illegal. You can't do that. I wouldn't do that personally. I mean, that's terrible. And you cannot influence the population of the United States. Governments can't do that. It's called an operation, and you can't have that. It's not. We don't do that. And as a matter of fact, it's one of the reasons I don't like going on shows. Because when people come up with these questions, you sort of sit there and you look at them and say, well, if you really knew how the government worked, when I was in CIA, when I was in the senior service, and at one point I was running rather large programs, I had lawyers all around me. I mean, you couldn't make a decision without making sure that you were right on the money. And CIA in particular, it's a great organization. I mean, made a lot of mistakes in the past, but by and large, it's a very, very straight-laced organization. You do not do anything that would in any way harm a U.S. citizen or the population in general. Mm-hmm. So that's bogus.
Yeah, no, okay, I appreciate that so much, and believe me, no one has more respect that didn't serve at least than me. I mean, my
and I like Nick West, by the way. Yeah.
So but I think I do want to say, one thing just to criticize the government that I do love and support, and it's the best country on earth. I'll say that, except maybe Canada. Kurt's going to speak up about the 51st state to the north up there. But anyway, in all seriousness, I look at COVID-19. And I look at, the trillions of dollars that go from 16% of our entire budget goes to the military, CIA, FBI, all these NSA. I remember going to dinner in 2020, in January 2020, my friend had told me, you just got an invitation to go to China. Are you going to go, Brian? I said, I don't know. And he said, you shouldn't go because China's building this hospital/prison. They're going to start locking people in because this thing called COVID. I said, okay, well, I'll keep my eye on it. I'm not in a rush to go to Tibet anyway. I'd love to go someday. But they knew about it. My friend at dinner knew about it. In other words, Jim, and trillions of dollars of and the countless lives that were lost, precious individual lives lost in America, because, and you think with this huge apparatus that they'd be capable of doing something, preventing something. And I don't want to get into politics. I hate politics, and that's why I'm an astronomer, because there's no Democratic comet, there's no Republican asteroid, right? So talk about the government, like, could they cover up something like this? Could they do it malevolently? As you're saying, the CIA is basically, let's just call it what it is. You're saying they're comprised of good people, good men and women, honest patriots. How come they weren't on top of something like COVID, which was, known to my dinner party guests?
The last 10 years, I consulted with the intelligence community, and I was working on counter biological weapons. And one of the corollaries to that was, working on pandemics and talking about pandemics. I can't tell you how many meetings I sat in with the government from people that did nothing but talk about the coming pandemic. CIA has written intelligence assessments on it. Wow. So has DIA. Almost every government agency has come out and warned people that this is going to be happening down the road, and it's just a question of when. But the problem with this is nobody listens. The government does not listen, the Congress doesn't listen, and the Senate doesn't listen until it happens. And when it happens, they jump up in the air, start pointing fingers. It's a shame. It really, truly is. 9/11 was the same way. We were screaming, bloody murder about Osama bin Laden. And this is what's going to happen, and we think this is going to happen soon. And people just look at it and say, well, I don't really believe it could happen. Right. But no, in many, there are a lot of times where the intelligence community fails, but a lot of these, no, we were not. We were right on top of all this early on, but nobody wanted to spend money, billions of dollars, creating. Say a vaccine that could help something when there wasn't one, when there wasn't a pathogen out there yet. So, and the government budgets, we can have a whole program on government budgets and how money is spent, and it's usually spent on quarterly things, things that you absolutely have to do. So anything that's looking in the future, like UAPs, by the way, low probability, high impact events like that, they don't get the kind of attention they deserve.